Okay, are you ready to create your personalized academic goals and action plan? This is going to be the foundation to helping you get admitted to your dream college. Now, you've already done the hard work, the hard lifting. Now it's time to sort of put it all together and create a clear roadmap. And that's exactly what you're going to have by the end of this video. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Cynthia Colon, and I've been in this business for more years than I care to admit. But one thing is for sure, when you have a clear and actionable plan, it not only builds your confidence, but it sets the roadmap for success. I always say you want to set yourself up for success now to have what you want later. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's break it down and I'll show you exactly what you're going to find in your module and all the documents so that you too can create your success plan. Let's go. Okay, so what you're going to find is your AQPQ chart here. And this is what you're going to fill in. Okay, so you're going to just fill in as much as you can. This is the AQPQ inventory. So the second page is for later. So no need to do that. All you're going to do is page 1. This is all of your academic qualifications. Remember, we talked about your grades and your test scores, etc. Okay, and you're also going to get an opportunity to list maybe your intended major, your career, and your dream colleges and things that you have of interest. Okay, so that's just step 1. Now, the next step is you're going to find an example of an action plan. And this is kind of what it looks like. Now, you can use anything you want. Like if you have, if you want to use Excel spreadsheet or you want to, write it, you put it in your planner. But this is an example of the action plan for academics. So let me walk you through this particular example. So you want to backwards engineer what your goals are. So that's why this is here in the first column. So decide what your goal is by the time you reach senior year. You want to have a GPA of a 3.9 or above, a ranking of top 5%, you see, etc. 8 APs, 4 honors, whatever it is that your goals are, academic goals. Okay, some of you might just have, I have 2 honors, I have 2 APs, whatever it is, and whatever your school has as a resource to you. That's going to be different for everybody. Okay, so specific courses you want to have by senior year, list those here. Why? Because it matters what you're doing before. Okay. So then you backwards engineer how to get there. So you need these milestones in order to achieve these goals. Okay. So striving for A's, must be admissible to AP, find friends with similar goals, things like that. And then also study for the PSAT for 10th grade and definitely 11th grade. Now you might think, like, why would I study for the PSAT? Well, it helps determine where, what your trajectory is. And also, not to mention that colleges purchase names from College Board when you start to send you mailings. That's how you get love mail in the mail, because they've purchased those names. So depending on where your test scores are, it depends on who you're going to be starting to get recruited from. Okay. And then here are some other particular things in academic enhancement: read books, magazines, research topics, things like that. Okay. In order to achieve goals, we just have to implement habits. So that's exactly what you're doing here by taking steps to implement your action plan. Okay. So I just wanted to give you just to show you what you're about to do. Okay. Those are the documents that you'll find in your resource section. Now, let's also talk about just specific action steps. So every step of that sort of milestone and every habit that you're forming, I want you to think about, how can I find a mentor? How can I find a support system to help me achieve these little things? So really be mindful of that. Seek help. I want you to find people to support you. You want to build relationships. All these things are going to help you for success at the end of this journey. Okay. And actually, this is never the end of the journey, right? The end of one road is only the starting line to another road. So there you go. So I also want you to think about setting high goals and not paying attention or not being bothered if you don't quite reach those goals. Or sometimes if you fail at something that you've written down, it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to come just short. But I always say, shoot for the moon, land on the star, you're going to be fine. So, and I never know if I'm saying that right, because maybe the star is farther, but you get my point. Okay. Failure is part of this process and it's part of your journey. And I guarantee you, when you make mistakes, you're never going to make that mistake again. So failure, I actually encourage students to not to try and fail, but just when you fail, you fail. So if everything came easy, it wouldn't be worth having, right? So just know that if you fall short of a goal, if you fail, or you not literally fail, but or maybe if you literally fail in the quiz, it's all good and it's all part of the process. All I want you to do right now is focus on the academics, right? That's what you have control over. And when you're literally in school, that's taking up the majority of your bandwidth. Okay. Shouldn't be Instagram or anything else. And TikTok, I think, is going away. So, you know, keep focused and stay the course to get the best academic rigor and the best academic grades possible. Okay. That's your first and main goal. Everything else is gravy. My final tip right here is really about advocating for yourself. So I think there are a couple tips in the book, tips and tales in the book that talk about this. So you may want to look. But if, for example, you don't get admitted into an AP or an honors course that you have asked for, go and advocate for yourself. Go talk to the counselor. Now, the best thing to do is to preemptively start and build a relationship with the counselor before you need him or her. So that's why we always say, like, go immediately. Like, the first thing you should do is go and meet your counselor. Set up an appointment if you can. If you go to public school, it might be hard to get, like a 30-minute appointment. But if you can even get a 10-minute appointment just to say hello, get to know them, have them get to know you, it's going to pay dividends in the long run. So preemptively build your relationship with the counselor at your school, the counselor that's going to be advocating for you later. And that way, when something does come up that you didn't get a course that you wanted, or you're having trouble, or you need to change a teacher, something, then they're going to more likely be inclined to help you when the time comes. Okay. That's my hot tip for the day. Okay, so your to do is in the comments. Well, and in your workbook as well. Okay, so you always use the workbook. Of course, I always forget about the workbook, but you want to use your workbook and write down your goals and do all of the things that are part of this particular lesson and this part of this module. But also in the comments, write down, type in one academic goal that you have that you're going to hold yourself accountable to, and you're having the rest of us hold you accountable to. So do that wherever you're watching this, type into the comments. So do that for sure. Okay, and of course, if you have my book, Be Committed, Get Admitted, it's tip number 4 that talks about backwards engineering. So it's a great tale. I remember the girl really well. I know her real name, and I think her name in the book is Missy. And she and her dad came in to meet with me before her sophomore year and to declare her goals. She wanted to go to an Ivy League institution or UCLA. So we basically took time, like we took an hour to backwards engineer what she needed to do. And one of the things on there for her PQs, not her AQs, just so you know, was that she wanted to be the student body president by the time she was a senior. So one of the things that she did, I'll let you read it, but it is really funny how she strategically planned to do a specific thing in her junior year to make sure that she had a better chance of winning student body president. And she did win student body president, and she did get admitted to an Ivy League school. So go read that tip in the book. That's a hot tip. Okay, again, remember, be committed, get admitted. And until next time, wherever you are, make it a happy and sunny day. Bye for now.